Hey everybody, Bloodbath here. Just want to talk to you about a couple things. First, from our last episode, I made a few mistakes. One of the mistakes I made was saying that Larry Cohen was dead. He would have been very surprised to hear that because he is actually still alive. I don't know why I made that mistake, why I was under the assumption that he was dead, but he is not dead. He's very much alive. I also made the mistake of calling him Leonard Cohen, which now you've unearthed my horrible secret. I like singer-songwriter music. It's a lot of fun. So I apologize to Larry Cohen for dishonoring him in any way. Nobody's come out and said anything to me. It's just a mistake that I happen to notice and I'm taking ownership of now. With that being said, this episode that you're about to listen to, I recorded while I was in Williamsburg at the Scares That Care convention. I was trying to find a quiet place to do it. I couldn't find one where people weren't passing me by and talking and what have you. So there's going to be a lot of background noise on my end. The quality of the internet connection was not very good. So we did the best that we can to give you a high quality episode. However, sacrifices had to be made in order for us to get through this one. So thanks for toughing it out and enjoy the show.
My brother keeps a human head in his closet. At one point, it had thoughts and feelings, and it kissed somebody it loved. Now it's just a bloody head and a bowling ball bag. I hope I don't end up that way.
Do you want to be the kid that gets picked on? Or the kid that gets in trouble?
What if I hit Marcus back? What if it doesn't hurt him any?
Don't worry about Marcus. You shouldn't worry about anything.
You didn't have to do what you did, Marty. Kids get picked on. I'm sorry it happens, but it's not an excuse to attack someone.
You want to see something really scary?
Listen to me. Something is going to happen tonight that's going to change everything. And I need you to stay out of the way.
Why?
Because I don't want to hurt you.
My life is starting to feel like a horror movie. And you know how they end.
Coming to you undead from Elm Street in fictional Haddonfield with a beautiful view of Crystal Lake, the podcast where every day is Friday the 13th and every night is Halloween. You are listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray with your hosts Bloodbath and Brett 667, the neighbor of the beast.
Thank you for tuning into Blood, Guts, and Blu-ray number 5. Horror will never die, but you will. My name is Bloodbath.
I'm Brett 667, the neighbor of the beast. And this is Bub.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it's Bub.
Fucking A.
And doing our intros and our outros and our interludes and all that stuff is, of course, none other than the Bride of Bloodbath. We have a great show for you today. I'm in Williamsburg, Virginia. Just finished the first of 3 days of the Scare for Cares horror convention. Had a great time today. We were only there for a few hours, but I got to meet Sid Haig and William Forsyth. And that was fucking cool. I got an autographed picture. The autographed picture, he signed a picture from Dear Mr. Gacy. And it says, to Bloodbath, God bless you, and I hope you rot in hell. William.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
He was really, really nice, man. He was just he's just like a jolly old guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's funny that you said he's a nice guy after he basically told you to rot in hell. I love it.
I was asking him about that movie. I was like, that was intense, and he's like, I've only watched it one time all the way through. It was too much for me. I'll never go in that dark ever again. So yeah, and I'm excited for the next couple days. My wife had a good time. My kid had a really good time. So here's the deal, though. I'm in like a pool house type situation right now, so people are going to be coming in and out. You're probably going to hear what sounds like a humidifier or something on in the background. It's not doing a very good job because I'm sweating my balls off. And so it's not, and I don't have my mic stand or my pop filter or anything like that. So I'm gonna sound like garbage. So there you go.
You look like you're doing it out on a balcony, dude.
It does. I was hoping I would have a balcony so I could just sit out there and just, we can hear some crickets or something. That would be nice ambiance. But you fucks are gonna have to put up with me this way. And that's the other thing too. I gotta keep this like PG-13 because kids are gonna be walking in and out of here. So
you're doing a great job of that right now. Fantastic job.
Terrible fucking job. Anyway, so we got a great show for you today. Before we get into some of these films, we do have some interesting horror news nuggets. Bub, take it away.
Oh yeah, man! Did you see that the Evil Dead 2 board game that's coming out? They got the Kickstarter going for it.
I did see that.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's like the goal of it is like they want to raise $70,000. And they still have like 18 days left, and they're at $316,000.
It's awesome.
It's crazy,
dude. There's some of these crowdfunding campaigns. It's like the best because if you have the money and you can throw down, like the stuff that you can get is fucking insane. Like I got the documentary about the guy who played Jason, Kane Hodder. I threw in $50 for it, and it's coming signed with the fucking book and all kinds of crazy shit. So it's usually worth it, man. The industry does the horror industry definitely makes it worth it.
Oh yeah, they definitely have a lot of perks, dude. Like on there, it's crazy. Like the things that they'll hook you up with.
Yeah, that definitely looks interesting. Are you gonna contribute at all or no?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna get into it, man. And
cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Just like, even throwing like $10 to it, I think you can get like a poster or like, like the game. I think like if you contribute like $100, you're guaranteed the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What else we got?
You know what? I guess at Universal Studios they're doing that Halloween. Hell Comes to Haddonfield. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I guess they have Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. It's running from like September 16th to October 31st. But it's basically like a recreation of the house that Michael Myers grew up in.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Got it.
I actually had heard of that before. That really sounds like that's going to be really cool as shit. Definitely like adds an awesome layer to that theme park.
Yeah. I think it's in like I think it's in its like 26th year of doing it. So there's like, the whole like Halloween Horror Nights, 26 years.
Holy, it's been 26 years?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I mean, they couldn't have picked a better way to celebrate the 26 years, even though it's kind of a strange number, so obviously they're kind of just popping it in, but they're just obviously phoning it in. But it is that's such a cool way to do it, to walk through Mike Myers, home and get that feeling, that ambiance and that fear. I mean, it's absolutely, what a great idea. And it's going to bring people to the park.
I'm telling you, man, if I went, I'd be wearing that little kid's clown suit.
I just hope it doesn't end up like what was that, Halloween Resurrection shit? This movie was terrible.
Oh god.
The movie was terrible. It's one of the worst ones.
That's my all-time favorite movie, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go cry in a corner.
Um,
Resurrection for life.
The Hey, just so you know, like, the connection's so bad here that you guys are breaking up from time to time. So if you ask me a question and I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because that you sound like a fucking cyborg on the other end.
Bruce and I actually literally lost you the entire time we talked about Resurrection, so cool.
Yeah, I just watched your picture just freeze up.
Yeah, sounds about right. We're good now. I might have to edit this out. No, I probably won't. But
let's keep it in.
You're gonna be pretty surprised when you listen to it back later. All the things you missed.
What else we
those
got?
Those fucks keep talking over me. What are those? What assholes?
What else we got?
I guess like Universal Pictures, they're doing this thing. It's called the Monsters of the Universe, and basically they're trying to do like Marvel did for like the comic book movies back in like the 2000s. They're trying to get that going for like the old school like movie monsters. So I guess the first one they're gonna do is Invisible Man. It comes out in 2018, and it's gonna have Johnny Depp playing the lead in it. But supposedly it's rumored that Javier Bardem is going to do Frankenstein in 2019.
Well, he'd be a better Frankenstein than the Robert De Niro one, because that one was horrible. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I didn't see it, but.
Oh, what a terrible movie! I got it for $2.99, and what did I buy that? I like it, fucking FYE or something. It's terrible movie. Don't do it to yourself.
Or what about the Aaron Eckhart I Frankenstein?
I haven't seen.
Be in the top worst.
I haven't seen that one yet. But I can't imagine it being good.
I haven't either, but from what I had seen and heard, it was truly atrocious. Maybe we should have a terrible Frankenstein night.
A terrible Frankenstein night would be fun because there's not a lot of good Frankenstein movies other than the original ones with Boris Karloff and Young Frankenstein. Other than that, there are no good Frankenstein movies.
They're all shit after that.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm game.
Cool. That sounds like a date. We're at one couch, 3 dudes, no pants. Let's do it.
Do we have to watch movies though? I would prefer not.
No.
This is Brad Twigg of Fuzzy Monkey Films, and you are listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-ray.
So we're gonna talk about what we watched this week, fellas.
Absolutely.
All right. So we nominated some films on Saturday. Brett nominated Audition in an attempt to get it out of the way. I nominated Starry Eyes, and Bub beat us both out with Found. But I keep saying all the time. But as an added bonus, there's a film within the film that got made, and that's called Headless. So we are going to talk about both. First Found, then Headless. Found came out in 2012. It's directed by Scott Shermer. Apparently the budget for that was $8,000 according to IMDb, but I don't know if I believe that.
I feel like it's more. It's got to be more.
It had to be much more.
Just the gore alone.
Right, and the effects were there. Body count was 4, naughty count was 1, but it's basically a dude's giant horse cock, and I don't know, it's kind of crazy to look at. It's prosthetic. I found that out later, but Jesus, that thing was real. He was in the wrong business.
The dude's got a gas mask on. He's like, "Hey, I'm covered in blood with a gas mask." Like, just naked.
Just that thing just swinging like a tripod. Anyway, Brett, hit me with the synopsis. Remember, we can't spoil this or Headless because they're both relatively new. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, basically, then the general synopsis of the movie is a young boy discovers that his older brother, who of course has grown distant in time as adolescence does, is killing women, and I think he killed a few men on a regular basis and popping their heads into a bowling ball bag. And of course the brother is dealing with a lot of different things in life, including obviously his brother, his parents, and the school, his friends getting picked on, and he asks a lot of questions, a lot of emotional questions to himself about his brother, sympathizes with him. He's really trying, and he's really trying to find his adulthood, his manhood, almost in the strangest of places through the father and the brother. And obviously I can't spoil the ending, but it all builds up to one hell of an ending.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was pretty surprised by that ending. I was like, what is going on?
I was pretty surprised about an hour into it. There's that threw me for a loop, and from that moment on, it totally ruined itself. It was building up to something really amazing, and then it just sort of shit the bed on itself a little bit. It does open up with a great line, which is, my brother keeps a human head in his closet. Boom, that's it. You've basically set the bar for how this movie's gonna go now. Like, there's no backing down. You have to do something over the top. I thought that was pretty wild. Like I said before, that dude's junk was not real.
You're really bothered by that, huh?
It bothered the shit out of me. But I watched it with Kristen, and she's like, "Holy shit, that guy's junk is huge." I was like, "That can't be real," and I googled it like right away.
You are listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray with Bloodbath and Brett 667, the neighbor of the beast. Let us know what you think by reaching out to us. We can be found on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or Facebook by simply searching Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray. To suggest a film or trailer you think we should discuss, or to comment on this or any other episode, send an email to bloodgutsandblueray@gmail.com. We will always get back to you. Thank you for listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray, and enjoy the rest of the show.
So let's start from the beginning. I guess let's try to, keep it focused here. So, like I said, that first line that comes out is that's setting the bar for it. But one of the problems I had with this film was I'm not sure if it was the aspect ratio, but I just wasn't into the way that the filming looked. It looked like amateurish from the jump, and maybe that's what the director Scott Schirmer had to work with. But I just hated the look of it. However, I did think it was a bit of a mindfuck, because you're not entirely sure like what time period you're actually in. The cars in the movie look fairly new, but these dudes are going to video stores and listening to cassette tapes and stuff, so it's a little disjointed in that way. What'd you guys think?
I felt like it was totally like early 90s. Like you said, like, the way it was filmed, the way it looked, the video store. He's got old school Venom posters and Iron Maiden posters.
Yeah, absolutely. And he makes some fucking awesome references to movies. He references Clive Barker a couple times, and there's a made-up movie that they talk about called Death Rattlers, which sounded totally interesting, and I wish it was real. Yeah, that seemed crazy. Brett, what'd you think?
Well, in terms of what you're saying, I thought the same thing, because I found it very odd. I'm watching a movie about cassette tapes and especially the movie store itself, and they even harken at like the 18 and over. What do you call it? The sheet, the curtain, but then at the same time, the older brother has the angsty teen haircut of today, and everybody has kind of the Bieber, and then the younger brother's kind of got the Bieberish haircut, and they're driving around in modern cars, and I really just chalked that up to the budget, but it definitely kind of it didn't help to suspend my disbelief. It was kind of like why do they look at this, and why are they watching VHS tapes? This is very odd, and it like you said, disjointed is the best word.
You know what I did like about the beginning too, when they're running the credits or the intro or whatever, the graphic novel that that they made for it, that is supposed to be the main characters. That was awesome. That looked really, really cool. It made me extremely excited for this film.
The beginning of this movie drew me in more than a lot of the movies we've seen. I was instantly like terrifically interested, like, oh my goodness, like the opening monologue, like you said, with the line and the graphic novel, and it just I was like, wow, I'm in for a roller coaster.
The also that kid's hideout, that train car that they were hanging out in. How awesome is that? That's like the best hideout ever.
So cool.
You can never build a better treehouse than that, ever. You know, like there's nothing that you could do that was like, to me, that's like the adult version of finding the pirate ship in Goonies. Like when you first go into that cove, you know what I mean? That was wild. Yeah. And then he gets picked on a little bit, right? And he's got his best friend who is a total shithead. He's a fucking fat-titted asshole. That's one of the other things I focused on was the tits on this 12-year-old boy, because they were humongous, and they were flopping all over the place. And he's got the balls to give this little kid a hard time. Give me a break. Anyway,
the shit you're focusing on in this movie is starting to frighten me. Look at the size of that kid's dick. Look at the size of that kid's tits.
Dude, when he came onto the screen, and like I guess when he scared him in the car, like the first words out of my mouth were like, "Jeez, look at the rack on that kid." Oh my god.
I think we watched two different movies, but okay.
No, I'm not saying that I wanted to do anything to him. I'm just saying that it was, the point I'm trying to make is that this kid ends up giving Martin, the main character, a really hard time. He's like, oh my god, it's being really hard. It's so hard to like defend you, and all the kids are talking about you. They all say you're gay. They say they saw your wiener and it was small. And like, why doesn't Martin just turn around and go like, "Fuck you, man tits"? Like, are you kidding me? I don't know.
That's a very valid point.
Like, like, who are you to be telling? It's embarrassing to be seen with you. People are looking at your chest when I'm talking. So, I don't know. That's me. I just was amazed that they cast this chubby idiot for that part.
Kid David was the worst.
Oh,
like I couldn't stand him.
Oh, I wish I got a chance to kill him. I really did. I wish they killed him off in the movie, but they don't.
Well,
that would have been so satisfying.
Oh.
Marty really chumps him out though by showing him that head in the bowling ball bag.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. And
the kid totally gets. He's got to go to the bathroom and get sick.
Ugh. Yeah, in my notes I put David's a shitty friend with fat tits. Fuck him. I hope Steve kills him. That was my note. So let's talk for a second, because we are going to end up talking about Headless, but let's just assume for a second that they didn't actually make this movie in order to really give this film a well-rounded review, right? So let's assume that they never made Headless, just while we're talking about Found right now. And it's just the movie within the movie. That movie's brutal. What they show, the scenes that they show you from the movie that those kids are watching, like, where are their parents? And that movie was those two scenes that they showed where the guy's just covered in blood and he's hacking up the other girl. That was wild. And then there's skull fucking. Everybody, there's skull fucking. Okay.
That's all that's all that guy does.
It's all he does. That's his modus operandi. He cuts your head off and bangs your brains out. That's what he does. But well, let's talk about that. What do you guys want to talk about? I don't want to be the only one commenting on skull fucking here. I'm really gonna seem like a psycho.
Well, then, one of the things I wanted to comment about this movie, and I alluded to earlier that the beginning just was a complete roller coaster drop, and I was like, this ride is going to be awesome. And my personal feeling is I felt like after the end, after I hit that dip, I just sauntered on very lazily through, like, Berenstein Bear Land. Like, I was very bored, and I feel like one of the reasons I was bored is I had all this tension built up in the beginning, and I found the acting itself, Marty in particular on his monologues, to be very boring, and I just didn't feel I felt like the acting just wasn't really that great. I love the premise of the story, I love the plot, but I felt like the acting was subpar at best. That's my opinion.
Bub?
No, yeah, I totally agree with him about Marty. You know what? That kid kind of, like you said, after a while, you're just like done with him, But I really like Steve's character, Like that dude would pop out of nowhere and just be like right on your shoulder, like, hey, I'm gonna cut somebody's fucking head off. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely like Steve. I would have liked him to be a little bit more in the movie, but when he showed up, he stole the scene every single time he was there, even if he was just being a loving brother, which is definitely what I really liked in the movie, is the complexity between him being an absolute monster and still loving his little brother.
I thought that he built the tension extremely well for this movie. Again, until about an hour in, at that 1 hour mark, you're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Should we just come out and say the reason why he kills people? Are we not saying that?
I mean, we could. That's not the ending. We didn't ruin the ending.
Don't ruin the ending, right?
That's right. We didn't say we. Yeah,
it ruined the movie, though.
Okay, so Brett, you say why, because I'm in a public place right now and I can't say it. Don't use the expletive. Just say why. Why does Steve kill? How does Steve select his targets and why? Go.
Steve has a certain prejudice against a certain individual type of people of a certain color, I guess is the best way to put it without using any kind of expletives. Which is inherently taught, it's ingrained in his brain from a stereotypical couch potato, beer swilling father.
Right. He's a racist guy. And it's all about race. That's
Absolutely.
why he goes after African Americans. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And that but he doesn't say that word. He doesn't say that.
No, he doesn't.
And as soon as he says it, I'm like, like when the dad says it, I'm like, wait, whatever. That's his character. That's who it's supposed to be. Because, he just kind of. The father kind of carries that vibe, you know what I mean? And, but as soon as Steve says it, I'm like, what are we talking about here? Ugh. And then
I'm telling you, man. I was like, this guy isn't so bad when he was cutting people's fucking heads off. But then all of a sudden he says the N-word, and I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's a horrible person.
Yep.
Yeah. It totally threw me for a loop, and it destroyed the tension building for it. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, like, you can make a movie about, somebody targeting women or somebody targeting, or you could have done that movie, but as soon as he tells him why, that was it for me. I was like, you know what? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Really, I found that actually, you guys saying that interesting, is literally right at the beginning of the movie when Marty's going over his monologue about his brother. What he says when he opens the bag, almost every time it's an African American, but every now and then it's a white person. So I knew what we were dealing with from the get-go, and especially because of the first head he pulls out of the bag. So I knew why, they alluded to why he killed him, but the way they released it was just unnecessarily bluntly boring, I guess is the best way to put it.
I agreed. Bub?
Hey, Brian, what is that? Sounds like you got ferrets over there.
No, it's just people walking through the area. And then, they see me talking, and then they stop, and they look, and they're like, oh, good, hold on a second, he's talking, and they're looking at me. They're just looking at me talking before. It's amazing. They're staring at me while I'm talking. Like, I think he's having a conversation, guys. Everybody, let's talk around him. To make sure that whatever conversation he's having is not as important as the one we're having right now. On the move. We've stopped. He's looking like he's talking to somebody about something. He's got 2 computers open. I don't know. What's he doing? That's what I deal with. People are so dumb, man. All of them.
I wish we had a camera behind you.
I wish we did.
Just
just
watching people walk in.
I wish you could see just my face, because they'll look at me and I'll be like, they'll just give them a look.
But yeah, man, this movie totally, I give it a 2. You know, like you said, the racism thing.
Oh
and the
no, we're not.
thing.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
No scars yet.
Oh, we killed it. No, I'm only kidding. It doesn't matter. I give it a. All right. Well, I mean, we can rate it and still talk about it. That's fine. Bruce, you give it a 2. Go ahead. I interrupted you like an asshole, and I'm sorry.
Oh no,
It's
it's good, dude. You know what? It's totally like the whole racism thing, like you said, that totally ruined the movie for me. You know, the like necrophilia thing. Like this dude's crazy. Like the best part to sum it up is when that Marty's at the movie theater with his father, and Steve like breaks into the bathroom and is kind of telling him like, you're not gonna tell anyone what I'm doing, and then like, you know, basically the usher from the movie just comes in and he's like, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah. That was another weird part too. Like where did Steve come from? I ended up giving it a 3 because I thought that the gore was excellent. I really liked it. I thought that the very end, which we're not going to give away, but the last, last 5 minutes of this film really culminated well. There was a lot of stuff in the middle that they could have cut out. Specifically, the part that we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, and the part with the fucking pastor just giving Marty trying to give him a speech. I would have been like,
oh, that dragged on.
I would have been like, shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna just take it, you idiot. What were you, never a kid? No wonder you're a pastor. So that
that one took a while.
That wasn't a delay. That just took a while for you.
Yeah, no, it totally took a little while. No delay. Don't cut that
out. Also, Steve's overacting at the end was pretty bad. Like the part where he's talking to Marty. I can say it without even giving it away. Where he's talking to Marty and he's like, I would never hurt you. And then he just starts losing his mind. That was terrible. That was a raspy, a Razzie type award. He could have got a Razzie just for that part alone. So yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5. I will say this: it's a soft 3. It's a soft 3. It could go down in time. If I watched it again and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this movie. That could very well be, because I also know what's going to happen too, so it might not be fair to the movie itself. But initial reaction all the way through, all things considered, it really had my attention for the first hour, and then it fucked off for the last 30 minutes or so. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Brett, what do you got?
I give it a pretty soft 2 out of 5. I felt the beginning really grasped me and carried me along, and I just kept getting more and more disappointed as I watched the film. The ending itself, I felt, was a higher point, and maybe it was just because something was happening. Whether we could agree or not, yes, I agree with a lot of the parts you said at the end. And I won't spoil anything, but all I can say is oil in the driveway. I mean, it was cringe-inducing.
The end? You're talking about the end, right? What?
Yeah, but I mentioned oil in the driveway. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Died laughing.
And one of the reasons I give this movie a low score, and it's teetering on the 1.5, is that a killer with absolutely no motive is just as frightening with a killer with a purpose. And this movie, I felt like, gave me a killer with a really fucking stupid premise and a crybaby backstory, and he just encompassed every My Chemical Romance album I've ever seen. And although his acting was really good in the beginning, I was like, there's no purpose to you. There's no purpose. So it gets a 2, and it could borderline 1.5 if I let it set in a little bit.
He does have like a Napoleon. He has a Napoleon Dynamite moment right in the beginning of the movie when Steve enters like the back door, and his mom's like, "Well, hello to you too." And he's like, and he just turns around. He's like, "I said hello," and then just walks away.
I said hi.
I laughed.
And he makes the same like downward sneer. He's like, I want to feed Tina. It's your food.
Fat tard. I hate that movie. Oh.
That's a terrible movie.
That's a really, really.
I know,
movie.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
And you know what? One of the reasons I got sick of that movie was because, on its own, it's not really that bad. But when everybody quotes it all the time, it ruins it for me. Like when you just ask somebody, like, "What do you feel like doing today?" And they're like, "Whatever I feel like." God, I'm like, I just hang up the phone on them.
As well you should, sir. As well you should.
You are listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray with Bloodbath and Brett 667, the neighbor of the beast. We are dedicated to bringing you the show across your favorite medium. We can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. Please send all suggestions to bloodgutsandblueray@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
Hey, thanks for the ride, man. I really appreciate it. You know, you're my 13th ride this week. Kind of spooky, huh?
Anyway, do you guys want to talk a little bit about... Actually, this is a good time for a tactical pause. We're going to do that real quick. And so that way you can hear our interlude and somebody else's bumper. We'll be right back.
Let's Chat with Revel and Friends is part of Quartz and Parts, a podcast network featuring pop culture, TV, and movie podcasts. Check out our other shows, That Popped Us Live, Talking Shondaland, We Got 5, and TV Ate My Brain at quartzandparts.com.
Okay, we're back. And, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys I was going to do that.
Gee, thanks.
Sorry, it's been a long day. Headless, it came out. Headless, it is the film within the film for Found. It's a film that they find in Found. Came out in...
It's a lot of finding going on.
A lot of finding. Finding yourself, finding other people's heads. Anyway, it came out in 2015. It was crowdfunded. Couldn't find anywhere how much the budget was. So, sorry.
$20,000.
Thank you very much. $20,000. Yep. The body count. Body count 10.
I'm the numbers guy.
That's fine. That's perfect. I'm busy. Body count 10. Naughty count 3. The director's name is Arthur Cullifer. Brett, give us a premise for Headless.
All right, so it's a story about a boy and his girls, and I mean it's a story as old as time. A man who just wishes to be loved, and
it's a love story.
He's the tough guy. I mean, he's also the quiet type, and he's never really fit in, but he basically forces his way into these young women's minds and hearts and their neck holes with nothing but pure love, determination, and I mean, I'm waiting for the Disney adaptation as we speak. I can't wait. Without a doubt, it is a movie that should be seen by all, especially the youth. No, for real. Okay, my real synopsis: a complete and utter psycho monster destroys women's bodies in the most graphic ways I think I've seen in a long time. Eats a fair amount of eyeballs, which really, it takes a lot to skeeve me out, but chewing on fucking eyeballs is really going to take the cake. And it happens so many fucking times. And just, it's brutal. This movie's brutal.
Forgot to mention one thing.
I know exactly what I'm forgetting to mention. I'm just waiting for it because I'll let you go ahead. How about this one, Bloodbath? You take away what I'm forgetting.
There's a lot. There's a what's the word I'm looking for? Gratuitous.
You know exactly what word you're looking for. You're in public.
Gratuitous amount of skull fucking in this movie. Gratuitous. It's amazing. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Graphically,
see what happens
graphic
when
skull
the
fucking.
pick the movie.
Oh. And the eyeballs thing is gross. First things first, please make Wolf Baby. We need it. That trailer that they had in the beginning was amazing. I don't know what you guys thought, but I think that they had basically a fake trailer, and it was for Wolf Baby, and I thought it was incredible. Bub, what'd you think?
Oh my god, the Wolf Baby trailer. Oh my god, I laughed every single time they repeated Wolf Baby.
It's just over and over again. Wolf Baby.
It was
Baby.
So fantastic. I died laughing at the Wolf Baby trailer. I knew I was in for something special when I saw the Wolf Baby trailer. And I mean, I knew I was in for something when I saw the big purple, like, HBO VHS coming soon. And the Wolf Baby might have been one of my top favorite parts of this movie. I died laughing.
They gotta make it. They gotta make Wolf Baby.
Please make Wolf Baby.
I want Wolf Baby. Give me Wolf Baby in a heartbeat. I completely agree with that. Bloodbath, what do you think?
I was with you the whole time.
You're not moving.
I was with you the whole time. Can you hear me now? Oh my god, I'm getting no response. This is amazing. I'm wondering if I should keep this rolling.
I think he's with us. He's with us in spirit and robot voice, but I currently can't really hear him. I saw him move. Oh, he moved.
Yeah, I've been with you the whole time. I heard everything you guys.
He's the little girl on the TV.
He is the little girl on the TV. He's the little girl on the TV. He hears us. We just can't hear him.
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann. I think he's coming back. He's giving us some.
He's playing with his ferrets.
He's playing with his ferrets. He hears
I heard every word you guys said.
Every single word.
I was wondering why the fuck you were interrupting me.
Dude, if we do that and continue talking, you know exactly why. That you've just frozen like this.
Editing.
Okay. Well, why don't we give it
editing
a shot
is
again?
going to be so much fun.
No, I think you should just leave. I think you should just leave it in because it might even be funnier this way.
I may just leave it.
Sometimes I feel like he's messing with us. Like he's doing like, I'm watching him, he's moving, and then all of a sudden it's just like.
Like, Bruce, your face is
Bloodbath.
frozen right now. Anyway, so I agree with you guys. I said it probably 100 times, but you guys didn't hear me. Please make Wolf Baby. I need Wolf Baby.
Yep.
So, like, right off the bat, right from Jump Street, eyeball gore. It's insane. There's so much eyeball eating in this movie. It's unreal. I thought that the first kill was probably maybe the best one. It was just insanely gory and just like found it. What's the word I'm looking for? It set the bar really high for the movie. It's almost maybe something they should have saved for near the end, because it was such a brutal kill. What do you guys think?
I thought that the kills, of course, were absolutely fantastic, and I completely agree with you. The first one was definitely the high point of the movie, although I don't know, the hippie falling in the rotting, decaying pool of bodies was a close second, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
that part was fucking great.
But it was fantastic. It was fantastic. But one of my favorite like juxtapositions is every single time he does this, he has these really creepy, oddly like Tool music video / like White Angel visions that just were even creepier, like soul-wise creepier than the actual kills were, and I thought that was a great design technique.
The nudity in this movie was like hilariously 70s, like real, like
oh
like
yeah,
them, like him just cutting off girls' clothes, like, or tearing at them, and it's just awkward, and you can see that they're like trying to help him tear it. I thought that was pretty funny. One of the things I put in is that the actors in this movie are pretty good at acting like bad actors, because that's what they were trying to do this whole time. This is a movie that you really gotta love the 70s independent horror slasher stuff. You need to miss it, you need to appreciate it, and that's why, because it feels like a slasher movie on an acid trip, the whole thing. There's just basically every sort of mutilation imaginable is in this film. I enjoyed it. I loved it, actually. But no, I'm not giving it a 5 or anything.
They make it look good too. Like when he cuts off the lady's breast, it looked real.
Oh, it looked totally real. The only thing that wasn't real was her reaction.
Oh yeah, exactly. She just kind of sat there like, okay, this is
okay.
happening.
These women lived way too long. They lived way too long through this shit.
That's
definitely.
I said the exact same thing, man. This it was way too much. I mean, they would have all died from shock.
Especially that first one.
Like, the fact that she was, that in that part, she's surviving that part for that long is kind of like the joke. That's the horror joke. This movie is only made for people who love horror movies. If you don't like horror movies, you fucking hate this shit. Because it's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's where you... But because people who love horror movies find the humor in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The guy who directed this, Arthur Cullifer, he was found special effects supervisor. So he, that's why, the special effects are so good in this movie. Because it's the dude who did all, the special effects for Found, directing the movie.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, that makes... I didn't realize that he was... I didn't realize he had anything to do with Found. I thought it was just they pulled another director.
Nope, graphics artist. Nice. Yep. Awesome.
Nice. As I'm looking at my critique here and the notes that I took while I was watching it, there's a lot more checks than there are X's. What did I put here? Oh, the dick mutilation thing was terrible. That was awful.
Oh God,
I felt it.
That guy just takes it though. And, he just takes it like no big deal.
What was that, Bruce?
He was just taking it like, hey, it's no big deal. You know what? Not a big.
That was the worst too. Like when he's like, you gotta let him kill me. It's I've never done anything.
You'd be screaming the whole time. Like it's like,
yeah.
He cut the thing off, and then like 2 seconds later, he's like, "It's all right. Worry about yourself.
It's all right, baby. I love you." Get the fuck out of here, man. I do like how they we kind of skipped over the second kill a little bit. I mean, we mentioned it, but the second kill was pretty cool too, because there's just like after he's done and he's just kind of laying there along with those like rotting bodies and stuff. I thought that was fucking awesome. What else? I'm hogging the mic here. Somebody else go.
I know you hated I know you hated the flashbacks, but one of them that I really like is when the mother cuts off the rabbit's head and just puts the rabbit's head in like the kennel with him. Like, here, you can have this part. And he just goes about eating a rabbit's head.
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was the next thing I was going to say. I think that the flashbacks, if they left the flashbacks out completely, I think it would have been a better movie. Because who cares why he does what he does? Doesn't matter. Let's just cut off girls' tits and stab them in the cooch and shit like that, because that's all he's going to do anyway. That's why I thought that they should leave it out. I thought that it was they were trying to tell a backstory that they didn't necessarily need to tell. You know what I mean? It's not like a guy, this is a guy that comes out every year, he's the boogeyman. No, this guy just goes out and hacks teenage girls to pieces. Period. Done. End of discussion, end of story. He cuts their heads off and he has sex with the heads. That's it. I thought that if they had cut those flashbacks out, they might have cut 10 minutes out of the movie, and that would have made it just a better movie if it was 10 minutes short. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion.
One thing I definitely agree with you is that the flashbacks were unnecessary. The one thing I'm going to refute you is that I don't think they were necessarily bad, because we got fantastic performances in my mind from the two actors, and I don't have it in front of me. I believe it was Cadence Miller and Matt Neely, I think, were the two Skull Kids in the cages. I thought they put on a great performance. They weren't written really well. They, like you said, they felt kind of forced in the story, and it was kind of sad because I liked the acting from them. I enjoyed the backstory, but yeah, it took a bit of fear away from the killer, because I really didn't want to know why he was doing it. He was just doing it, and that's what scared the shit out of me.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. I thought that the Skull Boy thing, the boy that's leading him to all his victims and kind of forcing him in his head to commit these terrible crimes. I thought that was a very cool angle. I really liked that. I thought that was nice.
And the noise he makes, the click noise he makes.
Bub, what'd you rate this? I'm curious to hear what your rating is.
Yeah, I'm giving this one a 3. You know, it was definitely like the superior movie out of the two.
Brett?
I gave it a 3.5. I thought one of the words we didn't mention, or I didn't hear because of the connection, was it really harkened back to the Grindhouse era. This is something that you would have went to go see in a movie theater late at night. It really lacked, kind of lacked a full plot and purpose. We didn't really talk about it. They tried to force in some characters that you wanted to like. The rock star boyfriend and his girlfriend who was supporting him, and the total scumbag disco roller owner. They were trying to bring some type of character, and it didn't really work, and that's what actually kind of worked for me. You were there for one purpose. You were there to see tits get cut off, eyeballs get eaten, and skulls get fucked. And all of those things happened a lot. So I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was a really good recall to a dark and gritty film past that a lot of people don't mention ever existed.
Honk if you like.
Well, that's kind of how they promoted it.
Honk if you like tits and eyeball gore.
They promoted it as like
Meet me.
They promoted it as like the lost slasher film from '78.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for right up until the end, where so I had this movie pegged at like a 3, and then he tore his own face off, and then I said, "Fuck it, it's a 3.5." There's no ending. There's no beginning. There's no story here. It's a guy. Look here. I'll give you the synopsis is the story. We've already spoiled it. The guy cuts people to pieces, mostly girls. You see,
That is true.
Boobs. There's no story here. You know what I mean? There's no twist. There's no plot twist. There's no nothing.
He was a champ about cutting his face off, though. He cut that thing clean off, just sitting at the table, gets back into his little kennel, goes to bed.
Oh, it was beautiful. That was the best part, I think. That and the first kill. Even though that girl was clearly faking it, that was the best parts of the movie, my opinion. Has Arthur Culliford done any other films?
I think there's one more. There's one more. You know what? He did a movie about a clown. I think it's called like The Legend of Wasco or something.
Yeah, no, I've actually seen that.
I saw that on yeah.
Okay, so all right, cool. Well, hopefully he sticks around, because if he's gonna keep doing movies like this, then I'm gonna keep watching. I was really into it. So, I think that any last words?
Yeah, Skull Kid. If I'm ever sitting in my office one day and some little kid with no shirt on and a fucking skull click-clacks at me and points somewhere, I'm ready for a roller coaster ride.
Did you guys lose me? Did you guys
kid.
lose me again, or am I still here? Can you hear me?
A little bit. We lost you a little bit. You just came
You're
back.
there. You're there again.
Okay. Jesus, I cannot wait until we're done recording. This is terrible. I'm so sorry, but this is the only place I can go that has a minimal amount of noise.
It's all good.
So let's just wrap this up then, because it's good. This is gonna be the worst, but maybe it'll be the best because it's the worst. I don't know. Anyway, listen, all the folks that have been listening and giving us cool feedback, we just want to say thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. If you're on iTunes, if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure you rate, subscribe, review, do all that good stuff. The next few weeks is going to be our whole month-long tribute to Wes Craven, so stay tuned for that, and thanks again for listening.
Thank you for listening to Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray with Bloodbath and Brett 667, the neighbor of the beast. Written by Brett and Bloodbath. Edited and produced by Bloodbath. Music has been graciously provided by the Slasher Film Festival Strategy from album Psychic Shield, available now on Death Waltz Originals. Artwork and logo have been provided by Bruce Tedford. Blood, Guts, and Blu-Ray is available on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, as well as @BloodGutsBlu-ray on Twitter, @BloodGutsAndBlu-ray on Instagram, and visit our Tumblr page by going to bloodgutsandblueray.tumblr.com. For any questions regarding the show, advertising, or anything else, please send an email to bloodgutsandblueray@gmail.com. Thanks again. Get possessed.